got most of my money back and went to San Francisco and bought this one off of someone since they aren't made anymore. And I must say I'm extremely impressed. It's the only amp I would really recommend after everything I've gone through trying out different amps. It sounds the best sound description I could give to the sound would be it's kind of a good scooped hollow sound, which is exactly what I was looking for. Combine that with the Mesa Boogie Single Class 290 power amp. They're a great pair. Can't really say much more. If you've heard of Mesa Boogie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I've always noticed that most people have a Studio Pre or 2 or 4 in their racks, and I've always thought, oh, it's such an ugly amp. And yeah, it is, but man, I love the sound. Next, Furman Power Conditioner. I got that originally when I first got my MP2 preamp. You know, it does what it does. Both of these have the pull-out lights. Same here. Lots of fluctuation in voltage here. So, Steinberg MR816, already covered that. Korg NR1. I originally wanted just a keyboard since I have software that I can use my M-Audio keyboard controller for to control samples. But I wanted something that was hardware-based that I could just turn on and get a sound, and the Korg NR1 does that. I was specifically aiming for a piano sound, not really into a lot of the synth sounds, but I just wanted something quick that I could throw a track on without having to go through banks and banks of audio or sampling software for piano or keyboard. So I got the Korg N1R, and programming I've still not figured out, and I got tired of trying to figure it out, and I've given up on it. So basically I just dial in a sound, a preset, adjust it as much as I can to what I want on the fly, record it, and I'm done. Until next time. Next one down is Alesis Data Disk, which, believe it or not, goes to floppy, which is an old technology, but it's a good backup for backing up all your rack's presets. So, unless you want to spend hours and hours and hours reprogramming everything, should you suffer a huge data loss, it's a great feature to have. So basically that's the floppy disk and the controls. Next is the MP2, my first preamp ever. My first real amp ever. Got a lot of usage out of it. Went through several sets of tubes. It sounds good. I would say I think Marty Friedman used to use it. Smashing Pumpkins. It was pretty popular at the time, and I think it it lasted pretty well as far as what I wanted out of the amp, and it's totally programmable, which is pretty much a feature I need out of the whole rack system. I may still break it out one day, but right now it's currently not used. Next is the Hush, or the Pro Hush, which is a noise reduction system, and of course the PA power amp and my computer. This is the ground control, foot controller aspect of it. It talks to the switcher, the 8-channel switcher. And basically, any preset I throw at it switches my whole rack immediately. This is the, I guess now it would be classic 1960B Marshall cab. Does not have the vintage speakers in it. I'm quite happy with it. I had two, no longer have the other one. As far as I'm concerned, I've heard the Mesa Boogie amps or the Mesa Boogie cabinets. And I really think it's a matter of taste as far as what you're looking for. I think the Mesa Boogie cabs sound much tighter. This sounds more scooped and hollow. And I particularly like the hollow sound, but I still wouldn't mind probably switching to a Mesa cab, Recto cab, based on the fact that my main equipment now is the Mesa Boogie line. So And probably last but not least, I have a M-Audio KeyStation 88 ES full-length keyboard. It's not really a piano. It's just a controller. It's actually useless in itself until it's plugged into the Korg N1R rack synth module. If I had to do it again, I'd get a regular synth and not do the rack bass, because I have to pretty much go around my rack, get down, and dial in a preset on the Korg N1R, then reach over, and then hit something to see what the sound is doing, and it's really not workable. I could probably control it via MIDI. Like I said, between the combination of the programming being a nightmare and the time it would take to get it all figured out, I'm just going to do that that's just the way I'm going to do it. So, also, one thing to note would be Creative Labs keyboards. I love these things. They're awesome. This one in particular has stickers put on aftermarket, but take that off, and that's just like the M-Audio keyboard, as far as they're both just nothing more than controllers. Then I can program that into the software and choose something from the software, a bank from the software, and I've got an instant an unlimited amount of presets and programs and software that I can use with it. So if I'm doing something on the fly while I'm editing, I can just pull the cover off, and I've got a keyboard right there that I can program parts, MIDI parts with, without having to point and click. It's pretty awesome. And those keyboards are, I think, only 40, 50 bucks. I think they're worth much more considering what they're capable of doing. There's even a little scroll wheel here. They originally had another version that was white, kind of odd shaped. I started out with that, and then moved to this because it's USB based. There's the power amp to the mixer, a Korg tuner, the desk. Took a lot of looking. I had to get this secondhand because I didn't see anything on market that was really worth putting money into, but I needed something that could allow me to build in units, or at least shelves or rack, the metal of the rack, I forget, rails. This worked out perfectly. So, allows me to place everything to where I can get to it quickly. So that's pretty much, as far as I can think of, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening.